Hi guys, how you guys doing? Hope you all doing well. Welcome back to another episode of FPL Backbenchers. Today I'm joined by my co-host Ranajoy. We are recording on a Tuesday. Today is the 14th, right? 14th of September. So Ranajoy, how are you doing?
Doing good. Very excited about the upcoming Champions League game. So we just have to finish this, and then I go straight to watch that game. But more importantly, we also have Ritwick today. Ritwick, how does it feel to be in the pod?
Thank you
Your
guys. Thanks
second,
for having
your
me
second
again.
time.
Yeah, this is my second appearance and really glad and very excited to be on the pod this week because a lot of things to discuss, especially my team. Awful game week for me. Let's see.
I was about to
It's not.
introduce Ritwick as look who is back.
Yeah. If you
Okay.
have me two or three more
Well,
times, I will not officially be a guest anymore then.
For guys who don't know Ritwick, Ritwick is a very old and dear friend of ours. He is one of the people who is kind of the thought process behind the pod as well. And he had actually come on to our episode during the international break, right? So, primary reason actually we have brought over Ritwick today is he want to enjoy his sufferance basically. He's one of those few people who got in Antonio and DCL as part of his -4 transfer for game week 4. And even major than that, after doing that, taking that hit, he is actually has played his wildcard. So I thought we shouldn't pass up the chance of actually bringing him onto the pod, right? So
Thank you for the
guys, how
nice way of sugarcoating my pain in a very joyful way.
yeah, we do enjoy that. Your sufferance is our gain.
Yeah. I'll have
Or
my
our
chances.
viewers' game.
I'll have my time. My time will come.
Okay. We
I'll
get
see you at
that.
the end.
Okay. I think we should begin
Anyways,
with the important stuff.
so how was game week 4 for you guys? How was
It was
game week 4 for you guys?
It was decent. Obviously, Man United won and Ronaldo scored, so
Hadn't-
I have nothing to complain about.
I have a
Maybe I
lot
had
of things to complain about.
Okay. Let's look
I
at our
have 11
scores.
complaints.
I'll start
In
with
total,
my
I have
team.
11 complaints. 11 complaints from all of my 11 players.
We will get there. Don't worry. We will get there.
So I'll start off with my team first. I scored 77 points. I had taken a -8 once again. So effectively that's 69 points. Again, captaincy came through for me. I was one of those people who did not get Ronaldo. I was very worried, but eventually Lukaku matched Ronaldo point-wise, who was my captain. And apart from that, the Liverpool boys, Trent and Mo Salah, they just racked in the points. Very frustrated about Jota missing out on point, very angry and absolutely fuming about Mane. He missed like a million chances from Jota's pass, and the minute he scores was exactly a minute after Jota was subbed. I think he had a bet with somebody that he will restrict Jota to under 3 points.
Or maybe he did not
So-
have him in his FPL team.
Might be.
Yeah, I'll go the second one.
It was absolutely infuriating because it was easily a double-digit score. I felt that was my differential. And finally, another person who was my differential, DCL, he did not feature at all. Thankfully enough, I had for once a very decent bench. So Duffy came in, and that's about it. Ritwik, I believe you have scored 66 points.
Yeah, my game week was not
With a
at all
-4.
good considering the plan I had gone with after the international break. Because I was very convinced, more or less, that I'll get DCL and Antonio in my team, but did not happen for me because Antonio got a red, DCL was not in the squad. Even I did not have Ronaldo nor Lukaku in my team. I struck with Bruno Fernandes. Fortunately, he scored a goal. It was a very nicely taken goal, a very wonderful goal. So I'm very grateful to Bruno Fernandes for at least giving me a double-digit captaincy point. Greenwood got an assist. I feel that he deserved more than an assist. He was playing really well, looked sharp. Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold, not much to say over there. Fortunately, my bench was also good. I got Duffy from my bench instead of DCL, so a clean sheet came. Arsenal gave me a clean sheet. Ben White finally gave some points. Luke Shaw did not give a clean sheet as I was not expecting a clean sheet from me. So an assist is good. Sanchez was my keeper, gave a clean sheet. So my defenders actually scored more points than my attackers. So it was not a very decent game from me. Tony blanked again. Ben Rama, nothing to speak much. I'm very fortunate actually to get 66 points from my team because my attackers have not scored that much, and all of them are in other people's team. So average game week subpar from my perspective.
Next up
Also,
is
you have
my
taken a
team.
-4, so effectively that's 62.
Yeah, 62 at below par.
Right?
Not happy with my
Ranajoy,
team's
I think,
score.
was 69.
Yes, before I go into my team, I think you both have Mankio, who are your third defenders or your third bench options. Who scored 7 points.
Mankio is in my
And Ritwick, without Ronaldo and without Lukaku, I think 66 is good.
Yeah, it's a good
return
point.
in this game week. And your game week would have been greater if Antonio and Calvert had scored. So maybe you missed a chance there, but I think a lot of us did. Like if I go back to my team, I too had Antonio, and I did not have DCL in my team. Tony blanked for me. I was expecting a lot from Traore, who again gave nothing. And I was expecting Leeds, Liverpool to be goal scoring. Again, Rafinha failed me there, and as well as Eiling. Not much to talk about. I think I had Livramento in my team as well, but Livramento was on the bench. The rest of it was similar to the rest of you guys. I scored 69 points, but I had a hit, so effectively 65 points for me this week. So not too bad, but not great either.
I think it was a 60 to 75 point week for everybody. I think
Yeah, I mean, so normally you would want to score beyond that. You would want to score 75 or an 80. So I think a chance missed there, but not a bad game week. It keeps you in the game. It's a 30. There are 34 more rounds to go, so definitely not a bad.
I hope so too.
I have a question for Ranajoy. Like, if you can walk for me as well, what was the thought process of playing Eiling over Livramento? Considering he was facing Liverpool.
The reason is that Eiling does give some attacking returns. I was not expecting a clean sheet from him, so I was expecting some kind of attacking return. And from Livramento, I did expect West Ham to continue their good run and score something. And that is the reason I thought Livramento should be on bench. Wrong decision, but that was my reason.
I would have gone with Livramento, considering he is further forward up the pitch. I mean, considering both of them will not get a clean sheet, I think his assist potential would have rather pushed me to starting over Eiling.
I think point taken.
Nonetheless,
maybe something to keep in mind.
Talking about that, I mean, all jokes and fun apart, we are dipping into Ritwick a bit. But I would like to say there are many people on like him who are on the board. There are many people like me who already have, already had Antonio and DCL. Guys, don't get disheartened if you have brought them in and they both managed to score a grand total of -1. It is just variance. It's a long season, as they have already mentioned. It's a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. So these bad beats and these bad lucks, better they happen earlier in the season rather than when you're chasing a mini league or you're going for the overall rank. Those bad beats would be even worsened later down the line. So it's better to get it out of your system right now.
Yeah, well said.
Speaking of that, let's look into exactly what happened in this particular game week. Right. First match was at Sellers Park. Guys, want to take it?
Yeah.
Spurs versus Spurs.
A good game week, a good start for you. Having so that Spurs lost, and Arsenal are only 6 points behind Spurs at the moment. In terms of the actual gameplay, Spurs seemed absolutely lost. Nuno's tactics does not seem to be favoring Spurs, and also Spurs were missing some key defenders due to whatever is happening on the international front. In terms of performances, obviously the standout performance of the game week was Conor Gallagher. He had an XG of more than 1.5 and an XA of more than around 0.6, and he was definitely one of the top players of the entire game week. So, and a lot of people are already going for Gallagher, and is definitely one to look after. Palace also played brilliant.
I would.
I think to continue, Zaha, as usual, was on fire. He was absolutely on fire from the left side. And Palace had around 17 attempts. So, all in all, a very good game week for Spurs, for Palace. But for Spurs, I would not read much into it because I think that was expected from Spurs after the way they played the last two games, wherein they're more attack. They're focusing more on their defense rather than going for it.
I
Anything
think
else you?
Spurs missed Heung-min Son a lot in their creativity and attacking aspects. They missed him a lot, I think, because Harry Kane, I still am not convinced with Harry Kane. His heart is not there. I think he's putting in the efforts and he's putting in the runs behind the defense and all, but I don't see his heart. They terribly missed Heung-min Son because Spurs were not able to create much chances. They did not pose a threat in the opposition box and stuff like that. I think
And you
let's
would
hope.
miss a player like him, son. Yes.
Yeah,
I think
Interesting
Somnath
that
had to add
Ritwik would
something.
bring that up. Yeah, interesting that Ritwik actually brought it up. Harry Kane, by his stats, had the worst game ever. So this is the first time ever that he had no touches or no shots inside the box. This happened first time in his career. I think 4 5 years. It's the last time that has happened. Spurs in total had 2 attempts. Crystal Palace actually had 18 attempts. I was about to mention special mentions to Odson Edward as well, whom we had mentioned in a prior pod that coming from Celtic and he comes with a reputation. I mean, Brighton was after him throughout the summer and they eventually did not get him. He just, I mean, although they were like well placed and well set goals and he was playing against 10 men, but you have to actually appreciate how well those both the goals, I mean the brace that he scored, they were taken. He did not seem at all jittery and not at all inconfident coming into a new league. So I'm sure he's somebody to actually watch out. Regarding Spurs not keeping a clean sheet, I think we had earlier mentioned this as well in earlier pods that Spurs are very lucky to actually keep a clean sheet. So yeah, eventually they got found out.
I think
Vieira
before we.
remains unbeaten against Spurs.
Oh, is he unbeaten against Spurs? I
Never
did not know
lost to
that.
Spurs.
so happy just to get
Oh,
his
great.
face.
I think
He
before we
has
move
never
on to the
lost to Spurs.
next game, the one thing which I would like to say is that Edward will become an FPL option. It is great that the next game is against Liverpool, so that people will have one more, will look at him for one more time before actually deciding whether to go for him or not.
What's his FPL price,
Somnath,
Ranajoy?
6.
6. Okay.
I think 6 million.
Somnath, would you like to take the next game? So City versus Leicester.
Of course, he will. No.
Moving on, the next game was Arsenal versus Norwich. You can call it a relegation battle, but thankfully Arsenal got their first win under the belt. Me personally, I feel it was the goal that we scored was a bit lucky. I mean, the goal itself. The result, I would not say is lucky because Arsenal had the joint highest shots in the game week along with Liverpool. They had 30 shots, 30 attempts at goal. And personally, I will say Saka was very unfortunate to actually miss out on point. So anybody looking at Saka, he's a very good asset going forward. Next match.
The only thing that I would like to add here is that Norwich does seem an option if you are looking for teams that would concede a lot. Especially, we saw that they have conceded a lot of free kicks around the box. So if they are playing certain teams who have good free kick takers, we do suggest you to pick them.
Yeah,
Ritwick,
their
if you have
defense
nothing
is
to.
not organized. They don't have good defenders in that sense, although they are playing a better system than they last time they came around. But I feel they just don't have the personnel to actually carry it forward. So that was about it. Moving on, the next match was Brentford against Brighton. Brighton won it 1-0. I personally feel that Tony and Mbeumo actually had very good matches. They tried to make a lot of attempts. Tony was dropping deep and creating a lot. But Brighton are resilient and they are king of stats for a reason because they play a very process-oriented and system-oriented kind of formation. I guess Brentford in that way were probably unlucky because they are also turning out to be a team who are defensively pretty sound. They are not conceding many big chances. So Brighton actually got a goal from the only shot on target and the only attempt in the match, and which was at the 90th minute. So probably unlucky for Brentford. Brighton won it. Anything else to add, guys?
No, nothing much. I think this is one of the games where you don't have too much to talk about. The only thing I would like to add is that again, Mbuemo was the farthest up front. I think it was only the last game where Tony played the farthest up front. But again, like game week 1, 2, and now in game week 4, Mbuemo was the farthest up front. So if you're looking at an option there and you're selling Tony, Mbuemo is the player I think you should take, in my opinion. Ritwik, you're adding something onto that?
Yeah, I think.
I would just like to add one point. As a FPL manager who is either owner of Mbuemo or Tony, it's highly disappointing because they are in good position inside the box. They are fathers of the pitch, but they are not giving returns. Like you feel like, they are in a good position, so they will give return in the next match. You keep them for the next match, it's again the same thing. They are fathers of the pitch. So it's like very frustrating for a manager who is clinging on to Ivan Tony from game week 1. So I think people should have a look at this.
Basically, sell them, or if you do not have them, have them.
It's better to avoid. If you don't have them, it's better to avoid them, I think.
Wait and see for it.
Yeah.
I think it should be a bit of a process-oriented thing, wherein have a process in place, have a set of plan in place. I mean, generally what I go with the plan is if a player is not performing for 3 game weeks straight, I move him on, because eventually, guys, understand, if you keep a player over the season or over a long period of time, he's bound to return somewhere. But the point is the points that you are missing out on the way, where the same price, I mean, just for Mbuemo owners, I mean, there are nice potentials rising in the same price bracket in Gallagher and Demari Gray. So if you would not have Mbuemo and you would have had either of them, you could have accrued their points, and probably if Mbuemo is to burst from the next game week, so you in that particular slot had the most points. So it's about trying to move on. I mean, I'm not saying that be impatient to the point of 1 game week, but I think if it's not working out for 3 game weeks, you probably should move on. Right? Next match was Leicester against Manchester City at King Power Stadium.
Was it at King Power or Etihad? Because the way City played, it was like it was their home match, I feel. Because Leicester was out of sorts in that match, yeah.
I think that is the way City plays most matches in the league, barring a couple of matches, probably against the big teams.
Yeah.
When I say big teams, I mean Liverpool away and Manchester United and Chelsea. I've recently beaten them, I think, twice in a row. So barring this, City pretty much look at home anywhere and everywhere. I think it was a very measured performance from City. They had one eye at the Champions League, so they did not want to overextend themselves, which is the same trend that they have been following since the last season. A very controlled match. Bernardo Silva scored, which is fair because he had the highest XG of the game week as well. So yeah, that's about it. Notable thing is Ferran Torres got subbed earlier. It is to be seen now whether he starts for the Champions League match or not. If he isn't starting, then in that case, I think he becomes a very good option for the next coming game week.
Yeah.
Which is against Southampton.
The only thing that I would like to add there before we move on to the next game is that again Gundogan is playing behind the striker, but do not read much into it because De Bruyne is yet to come back. And
this is the one thing I would like to add on Ranajoy's point, because still we are not able to pinpoint a City asset that we should take. It's either Ferran Torres, Gabriel Jesus is in good position, De Bruyne will come back, Gundogan is playing just behind the striker. So there are a lot of varied options, and still we are not able to pinpoint a single particular player that we would want to take in our FPL team. I'm still confused.
I think that's the problem with City team. Pep roulette.
No, but the problem is if they score 8 goals in a match, we'll just miss out on the points.
Get Cancelo, get Diaz. You will not miss out on any point. Trust me, over the long run, your points are balanced out.
I think Ruben Diaz has not scored a goal till date for Man City.
He's a defender. You want him for your clean sheet.
6 million just for a clean sheet. I will take Alonso or Reece James. Better no.
He has scored a goal. He has provided an assist this season as well, which was for the Mahrez goal, I remember. Cancelo, out of the two, if you have to go, I think Cancelo is kind of a mainstay now in the team. Zinchenko is very down the order. Probably we will have to see with the rotation kicking in with the Champions League starting from this week. We'll see it better. But I think, again, as they started last season, Cancelo can play either wings. So he can move on to the right wing as well. I think he's a very crucial player for them, especially since Mendy is not available. So I think he'll have a major role to play. He does have attacking potential. We all know about it. I think it will come true. He gave an assist this game week as well. I think he gave 12 points. And barring this, you saying that I think Ferran Torres is still an option because till now Pep has stayed true to his word. He has said that if you perform, they will be in the team. So we'll have to see if there is any variance to that because he has played those people who are on form. Jesus is still playing over
I don't trust
Mahrez.
Baldy. He removed Mahrez when he was playing very nice friendlies and is scoring off the bench and all. I don't trust Baldy. Staying away from City assets. I'll try to say, but this City pictures are very nice after game week 7 or 8. They're hard to ignore, I think. We'll have to think that which player to target from City. I think Ferran Torres or Grealish, maybe I think he's starting all the matches. Grealish is an option if you have the budget.
Speaking of United not liking Baldy, how do you like Ole? Because the next match is Manchester United against Newcastle. So how do you feel the match was?
I'll take the Manchester. I'll let the Manchester United fan take this one. He seems so happy. The boy has returned home, so better he takes it.
Yeah, I mean, wonderful game, wonderful result in the end. But United did not go out of the second or the first or second gear, in my opinion. The gameplay was very slow, and in terms of the divide about Bruno or Ronaldo, Bruno had more shots than Ronaldo. I think Bruno had 6 shots rather than Ronaldo having 5. And in terms of their positions on the field, both of them were same. So it is still a time to look to wait and see who of Ronaldo and Bruno will take the penalties. If Bruno is actually taking the penalties, he'll still be an FPL option in my opinion. In terms of one of the other players that I had in my mind was Greenwood. Greenwood was part of the front three who were attacking, and even Sancho was the farthest up front for Man United. So definitely, you should look at the Man United options for your attack. Other than that, if I had to cover Newcastle, ASM is obviously a frustrating option for everyone. Whenever you have him, he doesn't score anything, and whenever you don't, he gives you certain returns. Matt Ritchie for Newcastle was the farthest, one of the farthest player up front, only behind Joe Linton. So maybe there is some option there when Newcastle's fixtures do turn, but not at this moment. So in all, a good game, but United still have a lot to do before they become champion material. Anything you guys want to add?
Yeah, I want to thank you for actually mentioning Newcastle players. I think pretty much nobody was actually interested about them. Everybody wants to talk about United, but still, gracious enough for you to mention them. What I would say is, I think when the leak happened, wherein it was stated that Ronaldo is starting, I think along with the same league, it is made very clear that he is on penalty. I don't have, I mean, even without the leak, I don't have any doubts in my mind that he'll be on penalty. But in all the stats and all, I think I'll only like to add that we forget one thing that is about human factor about players as well. I mean, there are humans as well. Bruno, if you think about the guy, he generally himself is also somebody who is has a lot of pride as how Portuguese guys are. So I think even he's out there to prove a point that even without penalties, I can actually score a goal, because a lot of people, there's not on social media that without penalty is nothing. So he was taking a lot of shots. He was getting into nice positions. Personally, for me, I would not suggest anybody to even touch Sancho, considering he has shown nothing to warrant our place in our FPL team. Plus, he is dropping faster than a stone. So I would not suggest. If you have to take somebody else, I will say absolutely go for Greenwood. Greenwood is actually still getting into good positions, which I actually believe, which is why I kept him. I will still not go with Pogba. I know he has the highest assist till now, 7 to be precise, but that has come from an expected assist of 1. So he is massively overperforming, and the goals that the conversions of all his assists are either world-class goals or from outside the box. So I will not read much into it. For me, if you're looking still for United attacking asset, definitely Ronaldo and Greenwood and Bruno, as per whatever your budget allows. Next, I guess, moving on, the next match was a very important match FPL wise, which was at St. Mary's. Southampton against West Ham, it ended up being 0-0. The major talking point of this match is Antonio getting 2 yellow and eventually getting sent off. So essentially, he is not eligible to play the match against Manchester United in Gameweek 5. Before that, there are 2 matches that he'll be playing, which one is the Europa League and one is, I think, the EFL Cup, which is again against Manchester United.
The EFL game is after the next game week. So.
Oh no, the EFL game is after, so that will be before the game week 6 deadline. So we'll have a fair idea as to how that is. The scoreline, although is surprising to many, I don't think it was as surprising because generally West Ham don't perform well against teams who are keeping a low block. So Southampton were actually defending very deep. They were not going for it. West Ham usually thrives on counter attacks and teams going for them, which is their strong suit. Southampton did not play that way. And a lot of things came into mind. So, like, if it's a low block, then certainly the West Ham assets that we are raving about might not be the best options. That's what I felt.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it was not a surprising result for me because Southampton defended well against even Manchester United with their prowess of attack. So it was not very surprising for me. Some of the players that I would like to mention, especially from Southampton, because they've not been considered by most FPL managers. I think LANUC was one of the players who was playing very high up the pitch, and like Edward from Crystal Palace, Broha seems to be a good option. Though he started on the bench, he might soon start starting for Southampton, and along with Armstrong, and he might also become an FPL option.
Over Adam or Armstrong.
Not immediately, so it's a wait and watch for me. But he might become an FPL option. Ritwick, anything from you to add here? Or?
I would like to add one small thing. I think the FPL managers who have Ben Rama in their team, I think they will be thinking of switching to either a Leeds midfielder or Everton midfielder Demarai Gray or maybe Rafinha, because I don't think the Ben Rama performed that well in the match against Southampton. He was not up to the mark. I think the sparkling form he had in the friendlies and the way he started his season, I think Bulls, Leeds and all, I will discuss I think in the next segment or something like that. The FPL managers might have to take a look at Ben Rama because in the same price bracket you are getting players with a good run of fixtures. So I think that is one thing the FPL managers can take a look at.
I agree with you there. Totally.
Thank you, Ritwik, for the spoilers. You have made our next segment totally redundant. Anyways, so
listen, I got in DCL and Antonio for -4. I am going to spoil a whole lot of things as my FPL points are also spoiled.
Okay, next game, please.
Next match was Watford against Wolves. Wolves secured their first victory of the season. It was an away win, long overdue, I would say. In all the 3 matches that they lost 1-0, they were the better team. So, yeah, eventually, and Semedo unlucky, Marcel very lucky, got 2 assists. That's about it. Right? Jimenez again still not in the points, but I again don't have a doubt about him. Next match was at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea against Villa. Chelsea did not look very assured defensively, primarily due to the factor that Saul was playing his first match, so he was a bit jittery. I think they lacked creatively as well going forward because Hudson-Odoi just was not able to adapt to the role that Reece James usually takes. So he was not up to that level in that sense. Only when Aspilicueta eventually moved to that wingback position, I think he passed for Lukaku's second goal. It was a very good moment for me because till that point I was like really doing my captaincy choice. But I did not actually have any doubt. You can see the confidence in Lukaku. You can feel that confidence that if he has the ball in his feet, he will score a goal. So overall, it was not the usual Chelsea performance that we see, but nonetheless, it was effective. Right? So they are absolutely going for the title.
They just got the job done in plain and simple words. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, Jorginho had to come back. Special mention, Kovacic got a goal and an assist. So people might be considering to get him. just be mindful that the position that he was essentially playing is where Mount plays. So Mount was given basically a rest for Champions League. Don't get into that. Kovacic will not be playing that forward, wherein he is getting into the box and scoring a tap-in. That will not be happening anytime further soon when Mount starts playing in the team. So I will not get much into that.
Before we move on to the next game, something to talk about Villa. Watkins looked very lively. I think Villa had more attempts on the Chelsea goal than Chelsea had on Villa goal. And the one thing which I would like to mention here
in the
is
first half.
Both the Villa, in the first half, and both the Villa fullbacks are playing very high up the pitch. So when Villa do go into a good run of fixtures, Villa's defensive options become very attractive, especially because of their defensive prowess.
They are looking
as well as their possible attacking.
Their dynamics have changed with Watkins coming in. They will be scoring a lot of points and a lot of goals. Watkins do make them look. Shall we move on to Ellen Road, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was Leeds against Liverpool. I would say it's a comfortable win for Liverpool, 3-0. The only thing is the situation marred by Harvey Elliott's injury. 18-year-old kid got his ankle broken. I don't think it was anybody's fault. We absolutely wish for his speedy recovery because he's a very exciting talent and he was actually playing well. Worst part is he was just about to get substituted before the injury happened. So Henderson was already warming up.
Very unlucky.
Regarding,
unlucky.
Yeah. I think we don't need to speak about Trent as per se. I would just say that Trent was not as accurate as he is in other matches prior to this. But eventually he got the assists through which Salah scored his 100th goal in the Premier League for Liverpool. I think he becomes the first winger to do that in Premier League. Barring this, I have already spoken about Jota. I think he was personally very unlucky not to be in the points. And Mane, considering the amount of chances that he got, it should have been an hat-trick. So, anything else related to this, guys? I mean, that's about how I saw the match.
No, nothing from my end. I think Leeds options do become very attractive post this game. They have a good run of fixtures. So Rafinha, Bamford especially become very good options. Harrison should also be into the consideration because if you remember last year, Harrison scored as many points as Rafinha. And in this game, he was again playing very high up on the pitch, just behind Bamford and Rodrigo. So an option for there as well to look. Shall we move on to the last game of the game week?
Last match.
No, please don't. No,
we have to.
Last match was at Goodison Park. It was Everton won 3-1. If you guys still don't know, it was a nothing match, to be very honest, for the first half. Then Ben Mee scored, and then Everton had this spell of 6 minutes where they scored 3 goals. I don't know from where suddenly Townsend came alive. Doucouré got a couple of assists, and Gray, I think, third match in a row, he scored a goal. So he is absolutely going strong. It was especially disappointing match for both the DCL as well as Lucas Dean owners. Dean, as per usual, did not do anything much. He came up with 2 points. DCL missed it entirely. I mean, he missed the game entirely. He was not even in the squad, right? After which, I mean, we got to hear about his injury. So, speaking about DCS, if we are speaking about, I think let's get into our next segment itself. DCL was actually announced just 10 minutes prior to the game that he is injured and he has broken his toe. And his quadruple muscle has tightened up. So he will be out for the next, I think, 3 game weeks at the minimum.
3 games.
He's expected back as per FPL side on. As per FPL, he is supposed to be back on 2nd of October, but I think Ben Dennery was mentioning it can be even after the international break, which is in week 8. So that's a long time. We have Antonio in a lot of teams who is actually suspended for the next match. I think Dyer got injured at the 12th minute in the Crystal Palace match. Tanganga got a red card, gave his owners -3. Webster got injured. I think he was also subbed in the first half. So the point I'm trying to make is a lot of players who are actually a mainstay in a lot of teams are actually out, and so people are confused how to proceed with it, how to go forward with it. I will straight off say about DCL, I would say get him off, even if it is for a hit, because it's very clear and evident from his manager's word that he won't be participating at least for the next 2-3 matches. Even if there is a slight chance that he does, I don't think he will be at his full level. It was actually very strange because I felt very stupid after seeing that DCL is not playing. I felt very stupid taking the -8. I mean, what is the point of waiting till the press conference and if the manager is not mentioning that a day before, and he's mentioning that? So, anyways, bad beat. Let's move on. So DCL is one option. Again, Antonio, probably the next fixture after Manchester United is, I think, Brentford and Leeds, guys.
Yes.
If I'm not wrong.
Leeds and Brentford, or Brentford.
Leeds, Brentford, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, Antonio, you can still make a case for keeping, because if you were not expecting much from him in any case, you have to bench him for the Manchester United match, and then he has two very strong fixtures. But I understand that a lot of people are looking forward to move on to or click on the button or hit it and get a new forward right away. So Ritwick has gone like a ghost. Become a ghost.
I think some connectivity issue at our end.
Probably an internet issue. Nonetheless, so let's first look at the what we have done is we have looked at the next 4 game week fixture from an attacking standpoint of view, right? And let's see that the teams which have a favorable fixture going forward. I think undoubtedly Leeds have the most favorable run, not only for the next 4 game week. I think it's for a longer run until game week 11. So their next 4 fixtures are Newcastle away, West Ham home, Watford home, and Southampton away. Apart from Leeds, Wolves also have very good fixture, which is Brentford home, Southampton away, Newcastle home, Aston Villa away. Norwich also have good fixtures, which is Watford home, Everton away, Burnley away, Brighton home. So anyways, you get the idea. So the fixtures, Leeds, Wolves, Norwich, Brighton, Arsenal, all these people have good fixtures. So what we have done is we have created a list of forwards that we think are viable options as a replacement for either Calvert-Lewin or Antonio or both, right? Ranajoy, we have considered Pukki, Bamford, Mope, Aubameyang, Jimenez, Richarlison, and Edward. We have just.
I think from the list, the top 2 names that I would really like to target, and it's no surprise, it would be Jimenez and Bamford, because both of them seem to have great run of fixtures, and with the quality of players they're bound to give some returns. Aubameyang also seems to. Aubameyang is one, I think, the dark horse in this entire list. Arsenal do have a good run of fixtures, and Aubameyang, he's a proven goal scorer, and one of these games he's going to score a hat trick. So definitely one player that we should have an eye on. But obviously, I would not suggest to bring him in. In terms of the other player, Richarlison's next. I think they play Man United in a couple of weeks. And what is the fixture this week? If I do not remember, they play Aston Villa. So not a very good fixture. So I would not recommend him also. But in terms of my suggestions from this entire pick, I would actually go for Jimenez and Bamford. Actually, in my team, you would see that I have taken one of these players. Somnath, anything that you would like to add here?
So yeah, I mean, you can see the reason why Ranajoy is mentioning especially these 2 players. I mean, if you look at it, Jimenez and Bamford are the highest out of these set of forwards who have taken the most number of attempts. I mean, Jimenez has 13 attempts, Bamford has 11. Of that, from inside the box. Bamford has taken 10 out of those 11 shots from inside the box. Jimenez have done the same. So Jimenez has actually 12 shots from inside the box, and he's the joint highest in both of those things. I mean, both of those aspects. Barring this, for big chances, I think Pukki has the highest number of big chances. He has 3. So Jimenez has 1. So you can understand probably that he is taking in a lot of attempts, but the quality of the chances that he is getting is probably not there, which is probably the reason why he hasn't still scored a goal.
No, but Jimenez, I think, is unlucky.
Interesting.
I think Jimenez is really unlucky. He's taking a lot of shots. He's getting involved. He's also coming back and working with his midfielders in terms of creating. So Jimenez is on the brink of returning, in my opinion, and definitely one of the best options available right now.
Yeah, so when I was about to mention that only, Ranajoy. It's not just about his goal attempts. I think he's unlucky as per assist as well. I mean, he should have got some points for his FPL owners, plain and simple as that. He has 12 key passes. So, and nothing has been converted from that is something that is, he has an XG of 0.76. His non-penalty XG plus expected assist is 1.95, which is only overtaken by Bamford. So if you actually look about it from a stats point of view, underlying stats wise, he's actually overtaking Bamford in that sense. But yeah, definitely these two are the best options. Stating that the next run, I mean, just let me quickly look at it. Wolves' next run is Brentford home, Southampton away, Newcastle home. Whereas Leeds are Newcastle away, West Ham home, and Watford home. So I would say probably fixtures wise, Wolves slightly edges his past Leeds. I feel that their fixture, at least for the next 3, are marginally better. There is obviously a price difference, but I mean, you can go for either of them. Now the question is, when you are taking a forward, the problem is they are not a Cristiano Ronaldo or Lukaku who will be giving you guaranteed points. So you're looking and thinking about that gamble, but I don't think there's much to differentiate, right? Ranajoy, do you feel that there's much differentiation point between
I think it's a toss-up.
penalties?
It's a toss-up. The main point is both are on penalties, and both are very attacking sides. So it's a toss-up for me. I think the thing which you have to do is you have to balance your sides. Maybe you can keep 2 Wolves and 2 Leeds, and that sort of an combination you should go. That would be my personal suggestion. At least that is what I am doing.
Only thing probably is that Leeds is much more of an organized attack than Wolves. So like they have a philosophy, and Bielsa how he drives his troops. I feel they are a much more organized attack.
Historically, yes, but not under Lage, because he's been playing very attacking football and they have been good defensively. I mean, Wolves have been playing very attacking football and they've been good defensively as well. So 50-50
what I was trying to basically mention is that interplay between Rafinha and Bamford. I mean, they already have a chemistry wherein Traore is essentially playing a new position, which for me, Traore is basically a wing back, but he is playing as a winger, which is a new position for him. Trincao has come into the team. So
I think we are just... Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that link up will eventually come. I'm not saying that that's a disadvantage to them, but probably that's why they are not breaking free in that sense. And especially as of now, the Wolves, that system that they are playing, it's more driven towards the fullbacks throwing in crosses. So yeah, Jimenez should be in point. I don't have any doubt as to why Jimenez should not be in point. As far as Aubameyang, he has nothing stats-wise to dominate or to specifically mention about. What I will say about Aubameyang is I will not be as optimistic as Ranajoy is saying that he will be getting a hat-trick for sure. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, historically, Auba generally does not have a season where he does not score 20 goals, barring the last season, which was also due to a lot of injury and a lot of personal factors. So I don't see any reason as to why he should not be performing. Arsenal do have a good run of fixture, and he can be a true differential for people who probably cannot afford both Lukaku and Ronaldo or either of them. So he is a forward premium that can actually match them.
So I think we have Ritwick
Apart
now
from
back.
this,
He's
Yeah,
back from
apologies.
the.
I'm having a lot of technical issues, and the net problem is there from the morning.
Yeah,
I'm
no
facing a lot of net
problem. I
issues.
think he's back from the dead. I think
not
before
an
we
issue.
move on to the next thing, I think you're just picking at nitty gritties here. There is absolutely nothing to choose between Jimenez and Bamford. Period.
Yeah, uh, I was speaking about Aubameyang actually.
Oh,
Also, I
okay.
would like to mention Mope. If you look at Brighton's fixtures objectively for the next 3-4, I think they do have a decent fixture run. Mope is somebody who will again take penalties for them. He is the mainstay. He is playing, so I think he will be a good option. Everton, as Ranajoy has shrewdly pointed out, their fixtures are nothing much to boast about. They are not very bad, but they are not very favorable as well. I'm sure they will still be scoring a goal, and with DCL out, Richarlison will be back in penalties. But I generally, since Richarlison has moved from midfielder to forward, I never consider him as an FPL option, and he does not uh, strike me as a very exciting option in that sense. So I will probably refrain from Richarlison. Edward is an exciting option we have to monitor because Palace, after the Liverpool game, they have actually 3 nice games. So if he is somebody that, and I'm sure that he will become. I think for people who have Tony, he is a ready-made replacement made for Tony. Who cannot, people who cannot upgrade Tony too much. I think he is a ready-made replacement there.
But we have to wait and watch on him because
Right?
let's wait and watch as to when he starts actually starting the game. So for me, Edward is a wait and watch at this moment.
Yeah, definitely, he's a wait and watch. We were speaking about Wolves and their fullbacks as well. So, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of budget defenders have emerged, which was not available for us during the international break, which was the main reservation for playing the wildcard at that point of time. I think there are some exciting budget options considering we have looked at teams for the next 6 game weeks, wherein their fixtures are favorable from a defensive aspect. Uh, I'll quickly read the team's leads again, topping it here as well. Wolves is there, Everton is there. Leicester have a good run of 3-4 fixtures, barring the Manchester United fixture in between, that is after 3 game weeks. Norwich probably not a good very good defensive team. Arsenal entirely the general way is very good. Arsenal has a good attacking and defensive prospect. So these are about the teams that we are looking forward to, and luckily for us, there are a lot of budget options from here that we can actually target about.
In terms of budget options from this team, Semedo is a standout. I think I've also selected him in one of our sections as a differential this game week. Semedo, like Wolves, was a case of near miss. He should have given a lot of at least a double-digit return this game week. And Leeds, obviously, you have options like Eiling, who are still good options. But the Leeds will miss their key defenders in the next 2 to 3 game weeks because I think there is some defensive injury crisis amongst the 11. So if I have to choose between one of these two teams, it has to be Wolves. And from Wolves, I would choose either Semedo or Martial. Martial did give 2 lucky returns in this game week, but I do expect Wolves to keep a lot of clean sheets at least in the next 3 to 4 games. And if you want a cheap option to enter into the Wolves defense, Martial is the one you should go for. What do you think, Somnath?
I will not say that Martial's assist.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, Somnath, you're audible. Go ahead, Somnath.
So I was saying I will not I will not say that Marsal's assists were lucky. It's just that Semedo not getting a return was unlucky, probably because he was in a one-on-one situation with the goalkeeper twice. Barring this, from Wolves, obviously, as Ranajoy mentioned, Marsal and Semedo becomes an option. If you're looking from somebody, if you want somebody from Everton, I think Keane is a very good option. He has
scored
second
last year
highest
as well.
XG amongst these budget defenders as well, right? Uh, Apart from this, a lot of people have Webster who is injured and they're looking forward. If you're looking in Brighton, I think Duffy does not seem to be going anywhere and he is a very extremely cheap option for 4.2. So he's somebody that you can actually go for. He looks a mainstay in that team. It will save you a lot of budget and you can probably move that budget to your front seven and pump the budget over there. Arsenal, the entire defense, luckily for us, is very favorable, price-wise as well.
And
Out of
fixture-wise
those
as well.
defenders, the most costliest is, I think,
Is it Tierney?
Gabriel.
Oh,
Tierney 4. Tomiyasu is somebody who's very exciting, looks to be staying in the team, not looking to lose his place anytime soon. Also, I'm hearing a rumor that probably Ramsdale will keep on starting over Bernd Leno because Arsenal are looking to move on Bernd Leno in the next year, probably not in the January window, but definitely in the next summer. So they want to fast track Ramsdale's process to becoming the number one. So he again comes at 4.5 million. If anybody is looking for a 4.5 million goalkeeper, he is a nice option. From Leeds,
I did
I'd
not
also
know
like
that.
to add Firpo is a very good option. Yeah, Firpo is a good option as well. He plays in the left back position, and if they are switching the system, he will be playing in the wing back position as well. Looked exciting. He was quite handy against Liverpool. Leicester also have a good fixture, and Westergaard, luckily, also we can all agree he will pretty much be the main defender in their team. He's also for 4.9 million. So these are some of the options to consider. They are all having good fixtures. They are reasonable, and I think definitely getting one of them looks the better prospect. So there are certain defenders emerging budget-wise, which we can have a look into.
But to summarize,
Am I audible? Am I audible? Am I
yes,
audible,
yes,
guys?
yes,
Yeah, I would like to raise one point. I think we are overlooking Joel Matip. He's 5 million. Liverpool. I think Liverpool are not going to change the defense. I think he'll be a very good option. 5 million for a Liverpool defender. If you can't afford Van Dijk, Alexander Arnold, or Robertson, you should definitely go for Matip. I think Liverpool are not going to put in Konate right now in the system, and I
that's a
think
very
5
good point.
million for
Actually,
Matip is a good way to clean
that's a
sheet.
very good point.
Actually,
That's a very good point.
we are we're not overlooking. It's just that come after 2 game weeks, Liverpool's fixture actually take a very drastic turn. So they are not very favorable clean sheet wise. So we are basically considering people who are looking for a change. People will actually look to get a defender for a longer period of time. So we are suggesting defenders who can actually sustain for a longer period of time fixture wise. Because you'll not be looking to move a defender in a transfer usually. Right?
But I think from game week 5 to let's say game week 13, they are just facing in this 8 weeks Man City and United. So not much big teams Liverpool. If you look at the fixtures from game week 5 to game week 13, they're just facing United and City as a top team. Well, the people can have a look at if they want 5 million defender.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I think he's definitely an option if you're looking for a clean sheet kind of option. But since it's Liverpool, people do go for that extra attacking return. But I think Ritwick has a point there. Matip at 5 definitely becomes an option.
Absolutely. Let's look at the game week 5 fixtures, guys. The first fixture, I mean, if you guys want to take it, it starts with Newcastle versus Leeds. So, how do you guys see this match playing out?
I see this game to be an
Roger?
attacking one. Yeah, I see this game to be an attacking one. Uh, Both Newcastle and Leeds need point, and I think they will go for the win. For me, I would say 1-2 or 1-3 to Leeds. I fancy Leeds winning this game. Chumna,
I
what
want
about
Leeds
you?
to and I want Leeds to turn around this game, right? So I hope, because a lot of people will be getting Leeds assets. So I will say 3-1 to Leeds. Newcastle, I think, will be missing Wilson once again. So yeah, 3-1 to Leeds. I don't see Newcastle winning this fixture.
So
Next
same
one is
prediction.
Wolves versus Brentford. Uh, Wolves against Brentford. I see Wolves winning this fixture. It's at their home, so I think it's high time they get a home win. I will go for a 1-0 Wolves win.
I will
How about you?
I will break this game into two parts. From an XG point of view, I think Wolves should score at least three. But looking at their luck and looking at the way they've been scoring, or should I say not scoring, I would say 1-0 or 2-0 to Wolves.
Absolutely. I don't think anything. I disagree over there. Anymore. Next
Next,
fixture is Burnley versus Arsenal. So Arsenal play an away match to Burnley. Uh, I was not sure about this match earlier, but looking at how Burnley play last night against Everton, and I just think that there's something wrong with their defense this time around. It's not just the typical Burnley defense that we are used to see. I They have already conceded some heavy goals which we don't relate to Burnley. I see Arsenal again managing a win. I will go for a 2-0 to Arsenal.
uh, I would slightly differ with you on there because Burnley, after conceding, I think 3 goals the last game, they would want to shut up their defense in the next game. And Arsenal, though they're looking very nice in an attacking point of view, they're not scoring too many goals. So I think one of these two teams would win this game 1-0. It can be either one of them. If I have to pick one,
Absolutely possible.
I would go for 1-0 to Arsenal. But even Burnley can win it 1-0 or 2-0. Shall we move
Liverpool
on to the
at
next game?
Palace. This Yeah, Liverpool at Palace screams goals. So this seems like something that should be on paper very easy. I uh, I would probably go with a scoreline of 3-1 in favor of Liverpool. I don't see Liverpool scoring, keeping a clean sheet rather. So I will say 3-1 to Liverpool.
And I will go with you on there, 3-1 to Liverpool. Not much to add there,
I don't
Shimla.
think there's not much to add there. Over. Next
Interestingly,
match is
before you move on, interestingly, a last-minute thought from my end. I think definitely one of the games that I would be looking at Crystal Palace, because Crystal Palace seemed very nice against Spurs. So I would actually be waiting to see how they do against Liverpool. If they do really well, if they do well, there's a very less possibility. But if they do manage something, Crystal Palace could become an option suddenly.
Absolutely. I don't think Liverpool's defense will be as bad as how Spurs were defending. They have a better quality of defenders. So, yeah, definitely, I think it will be difficult. It will be interesting to see. Next match is at the Etihad, the Man City against Southampton. If Southampton continue to defend as per how they defended against West Ham, I don't see this match being a very high scoring match. I will go for 2-0 City.
This is one of the games where Man City score a lot of goals, 5-0, 6-0 kind of a game. But Southampton are doing relatively well defensively in the last 2 games. But still, I think a Man City team is too strong for them. 3-0 to
Am
Man
I
City.
audible, guys? Am I audible?
Yeah,
Hello?
yes, Shumla.
Yeah,
Yes, Ritwik,
I
go
would
on.
like to say that this match is going to be minimum 5-0. I'm absolutely sure of it. It's going to be 5-0 because Man City at Leicester's home, they had 20 plus targets. They had nothing to show for apart from a single goal. They were looking very, very decisive, and they were looking like they showed glimpses of the old City. I think this match, people are saying that Southampton are defending well, and for the last 2 games they are showing resilience and all. I think City are going to score a minimum of 5 goals in this match. If people have City assets in the team, I think they should go for a
purely possible. I would not, fight with you on there.
I think it's not just about Southampton's resilience in front of the goal and their defensive strategy. I think with Champions League in play, I do see City managing this game out because they don't need to overextend. I mean, if Southampton absolutely open their defense and they say come for it, go for it, definitely City will.
No, Southampton play a high line. No, they play a high line. So I think City. The forwards will make runs behind the defense. I think this is going to work against them. Southampton. Same thing happened, I think, with Spurs last year. They got hammered by Kane and Son. I think 9 goals or 8 goals, something they scored. I think it's going to happen the same thing. I think City.
But they've improved since the last year, so it wouldn't be such an easy.
I feel this is going to be 5 goals in this match. I'm absolutely convinced of this fact.
Entirely possible, but it'll be tough it'll be not as easy for City as it has been in the past years. That is the only thing that I would like to mention.
It's like probably you haven't watched the game against West Ham. The thing is, I understand they do play a high line, but they are not playing a high line. So that's the issue. So I definitely, with City, you can expect them scoring 5 goals against anybody. They scored it against Arsenal as well. It's not a very big deal, but particularly this match, I don't see, especially with the Champions League, I see there will be rotation. Let's see. It will be very hard to pinpoint actually who starts. So Champions League midweek matches will actually give us a clue as to who is starting. So,
okay, if City do score 5, call me again next week. I'll be the guest. If they score 5 goals, call me on the pod next week again.
We will call you even if they don't. Don't worry.
No, I won't come if they don't score 5 goals. I'm planning. I have stuff you'll see in the next segment.
Okay. Yeah.
How about Norwich against Watford?
This can go either of 2 ways.
Yeah,
both these teams could either start defending for their lives or attack. I expect the latter. I expect goals in this game. 2-2 in my opinion, with Sarr definitely to return. Ritwick, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, I think Sarr is due for a double-digit point. I think Sarr is going to give returns to his owners in this match. I think Sarr is going to do well. Pookie also, I think Pookie had, I think 2-2. I'll also go with a draw, maybe 3-2, 2-2, something like that. 3-2, I don't see it happening. 2-2, I think. Both teams will go for it because this is not the latter stage of the season. They're not going for relegation battle, something like that. So they'll not play it safe. I think they would think of it as 3 points to put on the board as soon as possible. So I think they're going to go for it. I think this is going to be a very interesting match. 2-2, I think.
What about you, Somnath?
I will go with the scoreline of 1. Yeah, I will go with the scoreline of 1-0 to Watford. 1-0 to Watford. I don't see Norwich scoring. I think Watford will keep a clean sheet. They are pretty resilient. They were the best team in the championship last season, clean sheet wise, in the number of goals conceded. So both of them having played in the championship last season, I don't see it being a very high scoring match. I essentially don't see Watford as also scoring a lot of goals because I still haven't been able to figure out what is the system of Watford. I definitely agree Sarr can be in points, but I don't see it being a very high scoring match. So I will go with a 1-0 to Watford. The next match is Aston Villa against Everton at Villa Park. I see Aston Villa winning this match. I think it will be a scoreline of 2-1.
In my opinion, I again would say Aston Villa to win this game 3-1 because Aston Villa really looked nice, good against Chelsea, and Aston Villa will also have Buendia and Martinez back. And except that 6 to 10 minute section or near the end of yesterday's game, Everton did not look very nice, very attacking, and I do expect Aston Villa to come out on top in this game. 3-1 to Villa. Ritwick?
Yeah, I think 2-1 to Villa with Daddy Ings to score. I think I want him to score, honestly.
looks
You
like
should take him in your team.
I
Then.
do expect Watkins also to be involved.
I think Watkins should be
He's
involved in this.
he can. Yeah.
Next up
Brighton
is
Leicester.
Leicester.
Brighton Leicester. How do you see this?
I I think it's a very tricky fixture to call because Brighton are at home and Leicester are okay. Their defensive abilities were good against City. I think it's going to be a 1-0 either way. Either Leicester is going to win 1-0 or Brighton is going to win 1-0 with a clean sheet. I don't see goals in this match. I don't see Vardy scoring a big or uh, I don't see it going past 1-0 for either of the teams. Honestly,
I
it's
would
just
also agree with you there. I think Brighton. I expect Brighton to nick this game 1-0. I don't know why I do expect Brighton because they're defensively they are strong. Leicester still are building their team. At least the defense they are. And Vardy, I do not know if he's going to score against Brighton in this game because Brighton do have a good defensive structure. 1-0 to Brighton in my opinion.
yeah.
I will go exactly opposite to what Ranajoy said. I think Leicester will win this match. I don't see Brighton scoring. I see it being a 1-0 to Leicester. Will win for Leicester because I don't see Brighton are very good going forward as of now. They're not really finishing their chances, and I do see Vardy nicking a goal in
I think
this match.
surprisingly
You
this
see
is one
what
of
is
the
scoring.
games that was for Somnath. Do you see Vardy
Yeah,
scoring
go ahead.
Somnath? No.
Yeah,
Ritwik
he
was
said he
asking.
sees what is scoring. Yeah, he sees what is scoring.
I think what I was saying is this is one of the games before the start of the season you would have easily picked Leicester, but having looked at their forms in the last few game weeks,
Yeah.
it's going to be a tough game. Moving on to the next game, it's West Ham versus United at West Ham's home. I think Antonio not playing would definitely be one of the factors in this game. In my opinion, United would be in the current form in the current with all the excitement going around Ronaldo. It's still going to continue at least for the next few game weeks. I would say 2-0 to West Ham, 2-0 to Manchester United in this game. Sorry.
Before this actually this Antonio thing happened, my plan was to initially um, transfer Shaw out because I was not seeing clean sheet for him for the next two matches. But I think Antonio being out, them being in Europe, it will play a huge factor. I don't see West Ham scoring at all, which eventually means probably they will because I'm very bad at clean sheet, especially with Manchester United. So I will go with a scoreline of 3-0 to Manchester United. Ronaldo being involved on
very
some.
possible. I think absolutely possible. The last game, I think, moving on to the last game of this week, it is
Spurs
the
versus
big
Chelsea.
one, Spurs versus Chelsea. If Son does not play, 3-0 to Chelsea. Let's finish off there. But if Son does play, I will give Spurs a chance there. Uh, but still 1-2 to Chelsea, even if Son plays. If Son doesn't play, it can be really bad for Spurs. 3-0.
I don't see Spurs scoring. So I think Chelsea will keep a clean sheet. Probably it will not be as high scoring. I can still see Chelsea winning this 2-0 by a scoreline of 2 goals to nil. I mean,
moving on to
Son does play, I don't. Yeah, so Ranajoy, now I would like to pose you a question. Considering Salah plays at Crystal Palace, Man City has Southampton at home. Lukaku against Spurs, Ronaldo against West Ham. So, who is your captain choice going to be? I mean, if you had to pick a captaincy and why?
I think it's an easier choice than last game, at least for me, because the number of options are less. For me, the two options are Ronaldo and Salah. The reason I'm not considering the other options is we are never sure about Man City's team, and Lukaku against Spurs. Spurs are still a big team, and it won't be as easy as for Lukaku as it was against Villa. So coming back to my initial two picks, Ronaldo and Salah, I think I will go for Ronaldo because simply it's Ronaldo. If it would have been Bruno Fernandes, I would have gone for Salah. But Ronaldo has this knack of scoring goals galore, like we all know. And personally, I would go for Ronaldo. Somnath, would you
I
disagree
think
with me on
also
that?
similarly, the choices in this game week are between Ronaldo and Salah. Although in stating that, I will say keep a lookout for Man City's team lineup for the Champions League. If you don't see Ferran Torres starting and or he not being involved from start to end or not playing 90 minutes as per, I think he is a nice differential captaincy option if you're looking to gain some grounds. He is starting against Southampton. I definitely see him scoring. Barring this, mainstay wise, I think, yeah, as Ranajoy pointed out, I think Lukaku is playing Spurs, who are not defensively bad as per se. So you don't see a lot of goals coming from there. In between Salah and Ronaldo, definitely, I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo, we all know, he is a huge player. He has so many goals, 600, 700 plus goals. Generally, I prefer captaining a midfielder. I refrain from captaining a forward. And last week was an exception. And how Salah was playing in the match against Leeds, I definitely do see him being involved if Liverpool are scoring. So my captaincy going towards
Salah. I think we'll not ask Ritwick to speak on this. He's been coming in and going out. In one of the sections where we speak about our teams, Ritwick seems to have everyone in his wildcard team, and Ritwick could talk about his captain in that section. I think before we go there, let's quickly talk about a clean sheet and differential options.
Yeah, clean sheet bankers, guys.
Somnath, you would like to go first?
I will take out the easy option. I see Man City keeping a clean sheet. I don't see Southampton scoring a goal against Man City yet.
I would pick Wolves and Semedo as my differential and clean sheet option. Semedo blank last week looked frightening in terms of giving FPL returns. So my two picks would be Wolves for clean sheet and Semedo for returns. What about you, Ritwik? Who are your two picks?
I think I'm going to go for a bold move. I'll go with Arsenal for a clean sheet this week.
Okay, it's not bold. I mean, they have a good fixture, so.
Away, I think the favorable fixtures are home. Like you can pick Leeds or something like that. I think Arsenal are going to keep a clean sheet. They're going to score points eventually. They're not going to be in the relegation battle. We all know of this. So I think Arsenal's journey of picking up points and heading to maybe a top 6, 7 finish or something like that starts from here, I think.
And who is
Somnath
your?
is trying hard to hide his smile. He's blushing.
And who is your differential pick for this game?
I think differential pick for me will be Jack Grealish, I think, for this week. Because Grealish has been starting all the matches. He's playing on the wing position opposite. Like the front three are Torres, Grealish, and I think
so. Before you go there, let's bring up your wildcard team because it's basically talking about your wildcard team.
I don't know when my net will go down, so if you can bring up my wildcard team, I'll quickly go through it.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, yeah.
Tell us about your team. Tell us about
I think my first of all, the reason behind the wildcard was I was very disappointed. I got in Antonio and DCL for a -4, and it did not work out. And I thought the team requiring changes because Lukaku, I think he's got 2 goals, but the main thing is he scored 2 goals from 3 chances that he got, like 3 chances he got at his feet, and twice he scored. From that, Ronaldo was an easy choice because I had Bruno Fernandes and Greenwood in my team. I think Ronaldo covers up for Bruno Fernandes and Greenwood. So I wanted Lukaku and Ronaldo. I thought if I'm using a wild card, these two have to be in my team. I think Leeds are having a good run of fixtures. So Rafinha and Bamford were there straightforward. I was looking at Jota because he was very, 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 and an additional very unlucky. Saves me 5 billion straight up, but I think Mohamed Salah is going to be there in my final wildcard team. Wolves, I'm not convinced with like how many goals they're going to score in this running of fixtures. I have Bertrand Traore in my team as of now. Sorry, Adama Traore in my team as of now. I'm not sure how many goals he's going to give me, how many assists. He has not returned, but I'm just keeping him because he has a good run of fixtures. I'm still sticking with the Arsenal Ben White, and my keeper right now is Sanchez. I was unable to change it, but it's going to be Ramsdale if I get news that he is going to be starting for Arsenal because Arsenal have a good run of fixtures. Marshall, whatever, I think Markal or Marshall his name is, 4.5 straight away goes into my Marshall is straight away goes in my team. And Matip, I'm going to keep him. I do not have the budget of Alexander Arnold, but I'll keep Matip just to get the clean sheet point from him. My bench is Livramento is there, the placeholder 4.1 million, so is Duffy 4.1. And Allen is just because he's starting all the games for Everton. I don't have because after putting in so much money for Ronaldo, Lukaku, I'm left with nothing for my bench. Jack Grealish, I have taken in my team just for this fixture. I'll tell you what my plan is. It's Grealish this fixture. Then next week I'm going to convert him either to a Jota or a Greenwood just for 1 week because United and Liverpool have an easy home fixture. And then it's going to be the Chelsea boys coming in place of a defender and Mason Mount. I think this is my plan for the coming 3 weeks.
I think before I ask you, the one thing which I'd like to mention is that you have very beautifully brought in Salah, Lukaku, and Ronaldo, and you have made a very good team. Why not Ferran Torres over Grealish is my question.
It's just there. I have the budget. I can do Ferran Torres because I was waiting for the Champions League news as Somnath was saying. If I get to see that Ferran Torres is not starting the Champions League game, then Grealish becomes Ferran Torres, and I have 0.7, 0.8 in my bank for next week. Either ways, Grealish or Ferran Torres I take, this player is becoming either Jota or Greenwood for the next week. Liverpool have both easy. Liverpool and United both have easy fixture. It's like easy. It's just Grealish, and for this week I have a Man City player. As I told earlier in the pod, I'm convinced City are scoring 5. I wanted to have a City player in my wildcard team for this week.
I think fair enough. The only thing, obviously, you've already seen that you have not taken Trent, who seems to be the darling of managers this season.
He's scoring a lot of points, but you can see my team. I have Salah, Lukaku, Ronaldo, Bamford is there 8 million, Grealish is there 8 million. I don't have funds, honestly. If I had the funds, Matip would have been top, but you can't win them all. You have to like let go of
pick
something.
Your battles.
Yeah, pick my battle. So I hope.
Any comments on his team?
Any changes I would gladly accept because I've made this wildcard team in a very short amount of time. I was very pissed off yesterday.
I was going to ask you about Grealish too. Why not Greenwood? Because Greenwood has been giving returns, but like you already mentioned that you plan to bring him in. The only last question: do you regret playing your wildcard? Or
no, not at all. I feel my team needed a wildcard because people are going gaga over Antonio, but he has a bad run of fixtures. Not a very big run. I don't see him giving you a brace every week. DCL is out for 3 weeks. And Leeds and Wolves, their ownership was not that high. I think it's time we cash in on it. If people don't have a Leeds attacking option or a Wolves defender, they should get him in. I think they have a good run of fixtures. Whether they live up to that or not, it's a different ballgame altogether. But I think I don't regret my wildcard, honestly, for a change. I generally use my wildcard early. The game week 7, 8.
Okay, seems that we have lost him again. Somnath, any comments on his team before we move on?
Actually, I had a lot of questions.
But
he seemed to have lost him because I was just waiting for you guys to finish because I actually have a lot of questions as to why he picked certain players over others. But nonetheless, just for the benefit of the user, listeners rather, I'll say, especially, considering Ritwick's wildcard, I will not be going with Sanchez. I would be shifting his goalkeeper around to somebody like Sa, probably Jose Sa from Wolves. Rather, I will be picking Sa and taking Shane Duffy instead of Martial and Sanchez. I think that gives over a longer period more stability. I heard that he was talking about getting Ramsdale. I will not be getting Ramsdale. But even if I'm getting Ramsdale, I will definitely be having a backup keeper because he can miss out on any point of time.
I think he can watch the pod for these suggestions. We will not tell him personally.
Yeah, I think not having Trent is a very big worry. Also, he does not seem to be carrying any Chelsea defender. So essentially booking a transfer in the future, wherein for this 1 or 2 game week he can easily cover it with 4 million defenders. We have a lot of options from them, and we have decent run of fixtures. So definitely that is something to be thinking about. I was interested to ask him why he took Allen, because if he had Allen from his prior game week, then fine. Otherwise, I think Allen is 4.6 now. He is 0.1 expensive. I would have rather gone for Gilmore. So yeah, I had certain questions. He will have a audit time with captaincy choice. Huge headache. Every week who to captain once Lukaku's fixture eases out.
But you would rather have these players than not have them, even if you have the captaincy headache. At least
essentially, see, if you are having a premium player, the moment a 12 million plus player is not giving you assist or a goal and he's scoring just 2 points, your entire game week is lost. So you're essentially banking on them scoring every week, because in that same position, to mid-priced or a trend will give you a lot of points.
But
so
you
personally,
have to
for
also...
me, I will.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
go
personally,
ahead.
for me, I would not be going with a 3 premium. As of now, I don't see the vanity in that. If it becomes like they are unstoppable and they're scoring every game week and it's either a goal or an assist or a brace every game week, then definitely, yeah, I will be shifting to that formation. But I don't see that happening. I do see a lot of instances where a 12 million plus player like Ronaldo or Lukaku actually blank. So I don't know, and if sadly if you that is your captain that game week, you will be ruining your thing. So it's more of a headache for me personally.
I think his balance is
moving on to your team, Ranajoy.
I think his balance is team beautifully. The only thing is that his defense seems to be too weak. That is it. Okay. So speaking about my team, I have had to make 2 changes this game week. I think I had finally moved out.
You've already done your transfers?
I've already done my transfers. I have moved out Simikas and I've taken Masal. And instead of Tony, who I think was dropping or has already dropped this yesterday, I have brought in Bamford. Ronaldo is my captain, and the rest of the team, I think, speaks for itself. Anything you would like to ask me? I think Ritwick is also back. Ritwick, any questions for me?
You had funds in your bank?
Yeah, I do have the funds. I don't remember it right now, but I have to check.
Yeah, because from Tony to Bamford, it's a lot of upgrade, and then
I have half a million. I have half a million right now. I had 2.5 before this game.
Not right away. I mean, before.
I want to ask Ranajoy, are you still convinced with Luke Shaw as a defender, not as an attacking defender?
No, one of the ways that I am planning to move Luke Shaw out is to bring in a Chelsea defender who is nearly at the same price bracket.
Okay.
So that is one of the options that I am looking at, and at the right moment, not against Spurs, because Spurs have a decent chance to score. I expect to move Shaw out for a James Reese or someone like that.
Cool. Let's move on to my team.
He did not seem to like my answer, so he moved out again. Yes, Somnath, tell us about your team.
I have Sanchez in goal. Shaw, Trent, and White in defense. Playing a 3-5-2 formation this week due to Antonio primarily being injured. Sorry, not injured. He is being suspended, so he will not be able to play. In midfield, I have Allen, who I'm not very happy about, but that is the cover that is coming for Antonio. I have Greenwood. I think it's a decent fixture for him. Benrahma, Salah, who currently holds the captaincy armband. Diego Jota, upfront Lukaku, and Calvert-Lewin. So right now, I'm actually a bit blank as to what to do. I think I will be thinking about my transfer once the Champions League matches are done. For sure, I will be getting Calvert-Lewin out, but I'm not convinced for whom specifically out of the options that we considered. I'm leaning a bit towards Jimenez right now, but I'm not really committed to that. Also, I would probably like to moved Benrahma away. So there again, I think Rafinha, as Ritwik was stating earlier,
Are you sold
Rafinha
on
and all become.
are you sold on not getting Ronaldo again this game week?
I won't be getting Ronaldo. I would have gotten Ronaldo. The initial or the original plan was actually to get Ronaldo this game week in place of Lukaku. But I would not be, since Lukaku had a price rise, and I do see him faring decently against Spurs. Plus Ronaldo eventually, I would love to own Ronaldo. I have nothing against him. I think United's run from game week 14, that is a humongous one, which United have. So that is essentially the time that I'm planning to get Ronaldo, or at least if I'm wildcarding. I don't want to disrupt the balance of my team. I do like the balance of my team as of now. And getting Ronaldo in will actually hamper that. So as I as I said, I'm not sold on 3 premium options as well. So yeah, I'm not getting Ronaldo as of this game week. I think Greenwood is a fair enough option. Do you see Ronaldo getting a brace once again? You
Yeah,
don't say it's
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I do because Ronaldo is a fantastic finisher, and this United side will score chances. That is, and it's not. And I obviously I'm a Manchester United fan, and I want to speak all good things about Ronaldo. But Ronaldo, he's not a mere mortal. He's one of the best players in the world, and I do expect him to finish chances that Man United create for him. He will not be as wasteful as Martial is. Uh, so a brace is not out of question.
Then as I said, I have a lot to think about. I will actually watch United's match tonight against Young Boys. Let's see what Ronaldo does over there. So he looks in that scintillating form once again. So yeah, I do have to consider a lot of things. But yeah, that's about it, guys. That's from us. Anything else to add on again?
Yeah, I would like to add one thing. Sincere apologies for all the net disruption, guys, to all the viewers. I personally blame Baldy for it. Yeah,
And I
he is
blame you for
responsible.
it.
Thank you
No
guys
I just
for
problem
hope
with
my
watching.
you.
Wildcard team does well this week. Otherwise, I'll be highly disappointed.
Yeah, it
Last 3
doesn't
weeks
do
have
as.
not been good here.
Yeah, I really hope it does well. Sorry.
I think Ritwik missed out on the part where I was actually analyzing your team. So do watch the pod, Ritwik. You will hear a lot of doubt coming from my end.
Okay, sure.
So we can have
And
No,
would
if the
love
team
a
does
to.
not
chat
do
about
well,
it.
though, if the
No,
we'll have a chat about it because I
we,
made my
re-
Wildcard team in a hurry.
we really hope that you answer those doubts in the comment section of this video because
Yeah,
maybe
I
our
hope.
viewers would also like to listen to those. Though Shumnath had really good, viable questions, and your reasoning would help a lot of our listeners. Definitely, it will
Somnath
definitely
knows
help.
I'll definitely give him a call before the deadline. He knows that.
No, but we will also be interested to know what is your reasoning behind that. So, if possible, I think you should leave comments on the video.
Yeah,
I though told Baldy is to be blamed for
we
all the
will
net
take it on a
disruptions.
conference call.
Okay, I agree. I agree with you now.
I said, Ranajoy, don't worry, we'll take you on a conference call. Don't feel left out. Special mentions, I'll just like to mention that Ranajoy's little brother is actually, we play a league, we have our own league, and
Yeah,
he asked us to mention the fact that he is actually topping that league
and
above
he
all
told
of
me
us
that in a
who
very
are.
mocking way.
Yeah, so he said that above all the content creators, he is actually topping that league. Something has to be done about that. Anyways, that's it from us, guys. Thank you for watching, taking out the time. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do have enjoyed it, do like and subscribe. We really appreciate you liking, subscribing, and spreading the word. We are a relatively new channel. It helps us grow. Anything else to add, Ranajan?
With all the even with all the disruptions, I think this has been really one of the fun pods. I really like the content and the content we have shared. And if you do like it, request you to please like and share and spread the word. It will really help us grow. Thank you.